Hello guys. I'm trying to connect again with Ricardo in a second because we had some technical issues. You know, you can't really trust Instagram. It's such a crazy platform in here. And I'm going to try to see when he's connected. So we're going to start to speak again. And I hope you enjoy it. You know, this little bit, I'm going to ask him many questions about what's the situation in Portugal for craft beer and everything. So feel free to let me know in the comments if you hear well or if you don't. And if you don't, we'll restart again. It's not a problem. You know, I did a bit of intro before telling you what I was going to drink, which is the, Bovas to Moscow from Altogether. And, let's see if now it's going to work. Hopefully. So just let me know if you don't hear well, please. Let's see.
Hello again, my friend.
Oh. Is he better? Is he better?
I was hearing you okay, but I think let me see. No, when you were alone, I was hearing you okay. I don't know if it's my connection. I can change the connection. It's my fucking connection.
Not a problem, my friend. We find a way.
Now I'm hearing you.
So, I'm busy.
Wait, I will.
Let's see if it's gonna work in a second. So I'm gonna try to use this. So hopefully it's gonna help a bit. What about now, my friend?
I'm hearing okay.
Now it's better, huh?
Fuck yeah, man, let's do it. I was trying to say Portuguese internet is a shit, but
no, man, no. It's the Instagram. Instagram is very, very a bad app.
I know. We were doing also some interviews, and we have problem like half of them were problematic. It's like that. I know what you're talking, but I really want to talk with you, so I was getting mad.
Long time to see you. The last time was
man.
Kelly's.
Completely, yeah. It was so long ago, man. It's
2016, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 2016. Last time I was in London. It's incredible. No, we were in London 2016 for the extravaganza. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing how time flies. Yeah.
I know, man. But now it's time to go back one day. I'm coming to Portugal because I really
my friend that was working in Acne, Ricardo, also he came back to Porto, but still have a lot of friends there. But don't have no more my place to crash. So somewhere a place to crash, I probably will go easy. Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. See. Problem solved.
Not a problem.
Yeah, completely.
How have you been in these days? How did you adapt to all the situation? Lockdown, coronavirus?
It was like everybody. Like it was so fast that we completely you adapt because you needed to. It was mandatory to close. Everybody closed almost at the same time. For us, it was 13th of March. Today is the first day of opening, but in the between, we were working just with takeaways and deliveries, and it was awesome because we felt the power and the love of our community. Working for the community, then you get it back, all the love and. The deliveries worked very well. It support us, so we don't get completely like zero, and it was super cool. Lots of people were worried about us, and like I said, lots of love, and that's amazing. You work for your community, and then you get it back. It was very, very good.
100%. And I always heard from many people that not just in Porto, but maybe in all the Portugal, you are one of the most important, you know, craft beer places, and you yourself as well, almost like an ambassador for Portuguese beer.
This girl also.
I know.
Yeah, it's a lot of, like I said, it's again a lot of love. I don't want to repeat myself, but it's completely our passion. It's what we love to do. Working in the craft beer scene and traveling for beer. I know there's a question about it, but it's where we really felt like we are where we belong to, you know, and it's like that. It don't see me work no more. It's just fun after all.
I know many Portuguese people. I have, you know, a few friends I met in here in Italy. They always told me, if you go to Portugal, you're going to find two beers everywhere. Sagres and
And
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Is now
Exactly.
still like that? Is it still like that?
No, no, we are the living proof that this is changing. It was a dictatorship, long time, but like a little bit like in everywhere in the world, craft beer is coming, and it's a change of mentality. It's completely a change of view, a paradigm change. So, and that's lovely, even for us in a wine country, seeing all this changing. It's amazing. So you don't need to drink Superbock and Sagres no more. There's a lot of now.
Lovely. And I don't know if you have a beer with you as well, because I was
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a lovely one. This is my little glass, my tasting glass. And deixa-me falar, só estou a ver aqui, caralho. Deixa-me falar, man. So I'm drinking a small glass. Sorry, there are some brewers that don't let me talk with it, man. So I'm drinking a North from North Brewing.
Wow,
From
okay.
Leeds. Loops and Dots. It's New England, super juicy, amazing beer. So I'm drinking one from UK, man, right now for
So
you.
I'm doing the Poland one because, you know, in
Cheers.
these days.
Very good.
What I wanted to tell you as well is, you know, we always speaking about the fact that shops like your one help breweries and help, you know, realities to grow. And is the city of Porto have breweries like many other breweries?
Sure. Like we, since the beginning, 5 years ago, for us it's a lot, you know. We helped launch a lot of brands. You said it some in the presentation.
Yep.
So there was a few, and we are always looking for new ones and supporting the community. It's all about that, like people in the networking, being very local, very people to people, and that's a beautiful thing. Like you don't need to talk to a big corporation. You know the guy, you know the history, you know where it grew, you know where it costed to them, the work that he had, the passion that he put on the beer. So you're not just selling a beer; you're selling much more than that.
100%. So you get to know as well, like them personally. You go and visit the brewery. You keep in touch.
For sure. Even for us, it's a kind of easy because here in Porto, most of the brewers come to here. So we are part of the community. We are part of the family. So most of them come to here. The home brewers, we have the home brewers meetings every month organized by us. So lots of them started like that. And even us being in the festivals, in the Portuguese festivals, we want to taste the new things. We are always looking for the new things, and of course, always being with the family, because it's a family, you know, a big family, and these people really know each other and take care of each other.
100%, 100%. And so you saw them probably, like, as you said, born, and now they probably like well known everywhere in the country and maybe even in the rest of Europe or the rest of the world as well, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you would say like craft beer culture in Portugal in general, at what level we are right now?
It's kind of we having more and more bars and from specialty bars, breweries, brew pubs. So like the cities, Lisbon and Porto are a little bit more advanced. Lisbon even more because it's the capital, it's biggest. Porto have a few, still change, and then you have. It's cool because in tiny places from the country where you don't believe like people even live there and there are breweries appearing from that places and good breweries. That's the awesome thing. Like you have good breweries coming from a little bit all around. That's very, very good.
And do you think there is collaboration between all of them, or do you think that it should be more like, I don't know, like supporting or discussing and making craft matter all around, or do you think you're doing enough right now?
Because we are so new, it's also new, we are so tiny, there's a lot of things to do. The promotion, we talk to less than 1% of the population. We talk to
1%.
Yeah, it's very, very few people knowing craft beer, knowing this product. So there's always that. It's a work, everyday work. I used to say that as we work like people to people in here, like we are changing one people every time. If Superboc or Sagres want, they make a campaign and they bring like hundreds of people. And nowadays, even the biggest corporations like them, they are they want to come, they see, oh, there's interest there. So people are interested in that. So they are making kind of different beer. That's good. That's all about beer culture. So there's a long way to go, a long road with the beer culture in Portugal.
Yesterday, I was speaking with Dimitri from Brussels Beer Project.
Yeah, man, I love that guy.
And he's here as well, watching now.
Hey, Dimitri, the guys.
It's great. And he was telling me, like, the culture, for example, in Belgium, like the one in the UK, is really traditional, like it's something from many years is around. But Portugal is almost like a new thing.
Yeah. But the thing is, people with all that marketing campaigns think Superboc and Sagres are the best beers in the world because they are brainwashing about that. And the thing is, people believe that shit. It's amazing how brainwashing marketing, aggressive marketing, like big campaigns. But yeah, in terms of craft beer and in terms of beer culture, the thing is, it's new, but it's so new that almost nothing exists. Like I said, we don't have like education purpose for beer. We have a lot for wine. You can take some degrees in wine, but there's nothing about it nothing about beer in Portugal. We are a lot of people learning with each other. You go to abroad, always go to England or Belgium or Germany to take a degree of the States. For example, in Brazil, they are much more ahead because they have universities making degrees about craft beer itself and then craft beer, brewing. There's nothing about that in Portugal. Imagine, we are a little bit behind because of that.
Which is not a bad thing necessarily if you are keeping it in the right way,
Yeah, for sure. For the community, the craft beer community, people are doing very, very good beers. I used to say, we don't invent the wheel. If you are a good brewer and do it properly and well, you can do very, very good beer. And that's what is happening right now here. So, but still very tiny, and we are growing. That is step by step, baby steps.
And what kind of beers, you know, craft beer breweries in Portugal are making? Is it more like low fermentation or high fermented? Like, how does it work?
You know, it's kind of, you imagine nowadays the world is a global community.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody is very well connected, and Portugal is a part of that, but much more, I will say, in the American style, American school. Of course, there's space then for the Belgian beer. There are people that love the Belgian. Some people love the German beers, the sour ones, of course. But it's much the trends that are going in the States are a little bit what's going on in here. So nowadays it's low ABV, juicy IPAs, sour beers, barrel aging, imperial stout barrel aging. So that guy in there is from a brewery that are doing now imperial stouts from here, tiny brewery, Burguesa from Porto, that is doing an amazing imperial stout barrel aging. Everybody's going crazy with this stuff, you know. And we have Portugal the biggest potential because we are the place for the port wine barrels, man. You kick a stone and there's a port wine barrel going on. So it's like there's a lot of potential going on because there are a lot of kegs, not just for port, but for lots of spirits and wines that we have. And we can explore that opportunity, being in a place with such a tradition for good wine and port wine from our city.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. You probably have like special ingredients or methods, or you know, even like maybe you have something unusual to pour, like special type of glassware or bottles. I don't know anything about it, you know. So
this is the glass for port. That is the same that you use like for sours, and it's very good, or even an imperial stout. It's a good glass, but it's a kind of normal glass, but it's the glass for port, for example, where you drink it. It's a fancy glass.
a fancy glass, yeah. And like, I don't know, like, is there any special like ingredients that you see in breweries? Like in Italy, they're doing Italian grape ale, and
nowadays Portuguese are developing a lot and pushing a lot to the Portuguese grape ale. I think it's the style where our brewers are more focused to try to get it as a style of our own, you know, an official style. Because like you guys I can say you guys in Italy, right? We have a lot of grapes, and there are some very good projects like Subina, that is one of the oldest one of the biggest one. They were sold to a wine company. It's cool because it's not like they were not sold to the dark side. They were sold to a wine company, a Portuguese one that is not very big, so still cool in that way. And the guys are arranging to do like a Portuguese grape ale, starting with the malts, the hops, the grapes, everything from Portugal, and that's super cool projects that we had.
Nice. And how did you start to travel for beer? Before Catraio or with Catraio?
Before Catraio, me and Bia, me and Bia, we used to travel because we love to travel. And in the beginning, you want to drink the local beer, even the industrial one. You want to arrive to a place, drink a Birra Moretti, you know, or that kind of stuff. And when you get awareness for the craft beer, that ingredients are better, that it's much more focused in the region where you are, it was the natural step to start drinking craft beer and looking for the craft beer. So after we start loving craft beer, start traveling and looking for the local craft beer. So after a while, you realize, oh, where's the local craft? I wanna you Google it, like local craft beer. You know, I think first place where I really look for it was in Sevilla. I was in Sevilla and we look for craft beer, and we get a tiny place that's sadly closed already, and we were drinking draft from there. It was Sagra and Domus, that are Spain's big craft beer.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I said to beer, I will do this with my life, you know. But it was a kind of inception. You never imagine where we are now, and it was just a crazy thought in that moment, and it was the inception. I think in that moment was really the inception. Yeah. No, for a long time I didn't think about it, but then it got stronger and stronger, and we are here now.
And how distribution works? Like, if you want to take all the European beers in the Portugal.
It's we have it's a kind of once Catraio arrived in the beginning was difficult. Nowadays, with more bars, we have more power to do biggest imports, and we have a few distributors. It's the good thing about being 100% independent. We work with everybody. We don't have contracts with nobody. We buy what you want. But of course, we have like our distributors that we work better, that are our friends. One of them is seated there in the table, and the guys like talk with us. It's a kind of synergy, a win-win. They see what we want, and they try to bring it also. They bring other brands that they love. It's people that love beer also, very important. Then I try to get it also in Spain. I have some distributors in Spain. In Spain is the biggest one that you have. Then you can bring, and now there are appearing some tiny ones in Porto, in Portugal, in Spain. So you get small things for a little bit from all around. It's like that. It's getting easier, you know. And that's a cool thing.
That's a good thing. And I noticed as well, like, Portuguese beer is coming easier in the UK as well. You can find Oitava Colina quite easy in restaurants as well.
That's cool. That's very cool. It's one of my favorites, actually. This is the brand from Oitava Colina. So you can see I love it. A living publicity from the guys.
Yeah, I can see.
I said to the guys when I did this, it was in an event with them here in Catraio, and the guy was tattooing. I had to do it. He said, I want discount for all my life. I still have the tattoo. And they do it. When I go to Lisbon, they give me a discount.
That's nice. And can you find craft beer in restaurants in Portugal?
It's kind of nowadays being, I don't like to say trendy, but it's kind of, you know, it gives value to the cart, the restaurant. So if you look to the menu, even the best restaurants nowadays, they want to have one or two craft beers, and that's an improvement of it. It's cool because even the chefs get interested in the craft beer, and we have some chefs, very good chefs, very friends of ours that are completely focused. They let almost the wine away, and they just want to have like beer and the pairing with the beer and food. That for me, it makes much more sense because we've had such an immense of opportunities to do the pairings. It's amazing. So little by little, but we also have that coming.
That's good. And are there any publications like magazines or very important blogs and websites that
it's kind of some people that I will not call them Instagrammers because they're, but yeah, and some chefs doing that, ciao, and doing that, but we received some magazines. There are some YouTube channels, Instagram channels. I will say even digitally, they are appearing a lot nowadays, more than the paper way. There are appearing. That's funny because we don't have nothing in paper that I'm remembering. That's sad. We should do it. That's something that I need to talk with some guys. Let's make it happen.
I was thinking about, you know, a European magazine, maybe written in English, I don't know, but like you have these magazines in the UK, something that, you know, it have information from all different places, and if something's going to come in reality, I will definitely let you know, because there must be, like, you know, a representation for every country. So that's something in mind I'm thinking about.
That's cool. I will say that's much more easy doing digitally than in paper edition. Nowadays, even the distribution for the paper edition will be something very complicated to do, you know, is that. But it's always lovely to have the paper, you know. That's cool. That's an edition that you keep it to yourself. It's physical. That's something cool. Yeah, I'll appreciate it.
And when you see at labels in Portuguese craft beer, are the labels right now, I don't want to say evolving, but aligning to, for example, you know, modern, older half, craft, and this kind of breweries, Garage, Barcelona, or they are a bit more like classic?
Yeah, for sure. I will say, of course, you got some classics, but there are some brands like Dois, Corvos, Oitava, Colina, Musa, for sure, very good brands that are changing to the new way. I remember even when I was in UK, when my friend Ricardo was working in Acne, they were changing for the traditional, even in UK, for the traditional Acne brewery, long time to the new generation labeling, and that's also happening here. Not just the label, but also the cans. It's finally appearing a lot of cannings. Even ourselves are today is our premiere of our canning machine. We can do now crawlers here in Catraio. You can have a crawler, half a liter crawler, a pint crawler to take away. You can fill how much as you want, go to the beach, go to your house, go to a garden, and take the cans with you. That's fucking lovely. That's amazing.
Crawler is good. Crawler is really a good thing. I'm glad to hear you doing that. Okay. And where are people drinking if they are not in Catraio, in Porto? Are there mostly like pubs, bars, and supermarkets? How does it work?
You have a few, the supermarkets are having now craft beer, but that's also a problem because in terms of distribution, they don't treat the beer very well. You know, there's a lot of problem coming from beer being in the shelves a lot of time. That's not good because they don't have the awareness to take care of the beer. It's not a pasteurized beer, so they need to be more careful than they are. But besides that, you have a few craft beer places in Portugal, gladly, because I really love to go to the other side of the counter, you know. And you have places, bars with like pubs with some craft beer. And the new pubs that are appearing, most of them always have 1, 2, 3, 4 brands of beer, even on draft. There are appearing a lot of places with craft beer on draft. That's the very good thing. So they are not focused in the craft beer, but they have a draft line. That's very cool. For me, it's the places that I really want to go because it's supporting your community for sure.
And is there any kind of, you know, not necessarily a big corporation, but not even local craft brewery then appearing in Portugal? Maybe I'm thinking Founders in Spain. I'm thinking, Brooklyn or Stone in Berlin.
The only ones that appearing in year strong was Lagunitas, that are the guys from Heineken. It's like they came with Lagunitas. That's good because nowadays they are appearing in that places from the guys from Sagres, direct from Lagunitas, and it's a beer that I love. Like the first time the guys when the Lagunitas sold to the guys from Heineken, I was sad, but I said, fuck, I really love that beer. It's one of the first IPA that really switched to me. And man, after that, I was sad, and I received here Tony McGee, one of the founders of Lagunitas. And like I was sad off because this guy is the founding fathers of the craft beer scene. If not guys like him, we were still drinking the same piece every time. It's the same with Brooklyn. That is the guys from Carlsberg with Super Bowl, and they try to bring it in here strong. But the problem is, for me, the big problem is the guy that sell it is the same guy that sell the industrial beer. They don't have the DNA to sell that kind of beer. Even in places like Catraio, sweet guys coming with their iPad in like, oh, I want to sell a beer, and like, what the fuck? Are you a robot or something? Let's drink a beer, and the guys are completely formatted to sell, not to be in the beer. So I think that's the problem. They cannot sell the beer that they have. It's good beer, but they cannot sell it. Like we told it to. We were in Brooklyn, in the Brooklyn Brewery, invited by I'm forgetting what's the name of the guy from Brooklyn.
Gareth Oliver?
No, I didn't met Gareth Oliver because I arrived late. Steve Indy, Steve Indy is the one of the founders, and like I'm a big fan of that guys, because it's another, again, it's the founding fathers, a lot of respect, even if they sold, and they sold for a big ton of money, respect, because they did their part for sure, like they completely did their part, and now is the time for the younger generation to take care of it.
I agree. It's totally like that, and UK is a bit different. UK is, even people like you, and very conscious about your job, what you're doing and everything, there is always a channel to have a conversation. When I see often in Spain, Portugal and Italy being more strict, like you have your way, you have your philosophy, you have your idea. Well, that's it. I mean, I know who I want to support. I know the beer that I like. That's it.
I felt that about not just London, UK, because I've been in Manchester also, and I felt that also in even in Brussels, in Belgium in general, or even in Germany, like places with a big tradition are difficult to get off that tradition and go straight forward. For us, like you said, it's easier because for us, there's nothing like keeping us. But for you guys, there's the tradition. There's a lot of tradition. And I felt that in London while I was there, even in the place with such a big beer culture, the craft beer scene is still a subculture for you guys. Like I saw a lot nowadays, Beaver Town, and even more nowadays that they sold. And that's good. It's another thing that it's good beer. Of course, you pay the cost. The guys were sold to the big corporation, to the dark side, but there's good beer. There's an option for a Gamma Ray or a Neck Oil that are amazing beers. It's just that because I really loved to meet but me and the names today are the owner of
Logan,
of course. Logan was super cool to meet, and Johnny, I knew Johnny that now get out. He was in the festival last year in Colina or beer festival, and I met Johnny like 2 weeks before he was entering and start working in Beavertown, he was in Catraio before he started. So we got the good connection, and like I really love the brand. Beavertown is an amazing brand. I get sad, but at the same time you gotta let it go. You know, you gotta let it go because it's that the same with Magic Crop. If they get bigger, but they like even in terms of worldwide population, there's a lot to do for the craft beer scene. We are tiny, even like, of course, the United States are the role model, but even they have a lot of work to do to fight the dark side, because that guys don't play fair, man. That shit. They don't play fair.
No.
So, yeah. It's the beer against Goliath.
I know there are many people in here offering as well, like, you know, money to win the taps.
Here in Portugal, happens the same. I know from owners of bars, good bar that sells a lot of beer, that the guys from the biggest corporation arrive there with money, cash. Like cash, you know? Man, put my beer in there to 100 G for you. And like, what the fuck? There's no turning back. It's like, it's a lot of money involved, and that's unfair competition for sure. Somebody in the idyllic world, somebody will go arrested or get fired because of that shit. But like I said, they don't play fair, man. It's what it is.
That's very arrogant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you see these weeks coming, like with the business, with pubs and bars and restaurants? Do you have many restrictions right now in Portugal?
You have like the biggest ones, and the beers, the special kind of beers from Superbock, another ones from Sagres, because there's kind of divided. North is Superbock, South is Sagres, and you have a lot of places, good places that could have better beer. They don't have, because like they completely get stuck with that guys, you know. They give them so much money, so much royalties, that they don't have the chance to. So in that case, there are some entrepreneurs with the courage to change. I think they do it well, but most of them, they don't want it because they don't need it, because they are very well with the guys that almost offer the beer, you know.
And do you think if I'm spending 3-4 days in Portugal tomorrow, not maybe tomorrow, but in a month time,
yeah,
should I come to visit Porto and then spending 2 days in Lisbon to see beer, or go in different places?
No, I'll say so. I really love Lisbon, you know. It's beautiful city, it's our capital. I'll say Porto is more cozy, it's more walking distance. Lisbon is bigger, much bigger, not as London, of course, but it's bigger.
It's bigger.
But the craft beer scene there is amazing. I really love. We have lots of good friends, like you said, Oitava, Colina, Dois, Corvos, Musa, Duke Group Up. I saw the guys, they were entering in here. A few guys more, like a few bars that we really love, that are our like twin. It's our brothers from Lisbon. And I would recommend you to go. I'll say 2 days is short, but if like 2 in Porto, 2 in Lisbon would be awesome.
And there are festivals in Portugal, like very important beer festivals, right?
Yeah. Sadly, the Porto one will be like in 2 weeks. That's amazing. Like it's the same guys, Otávio, that is also like traveling from Ogia, that organized the Art Beer Fest in Caninha, that happens in July. That probably will happen very smaller than it's supposed, but it's a case study, because the festival, it's amazing. You get the best lineup in Europe. Like, you don't get a shame with that lineup. Is fuck yeah, you know. The guys do an amazing job in Caninha, in the Art Beer Fest. I recommend everybody to go there in 2021 for sure, because it's an amazing festival. And then they had the Porto one. They have a few more, but I will say Porto is the biggest one, because the city, you really love this vibe. Like, Porto is a vibrant city. and with a lot of tourism, everybody's going to the festival. It's like, it's crazy, it's huge. It's, I would say, for what I saw, it's the biggest one in the Iberian Peninsula. From Portugal and Spain, there are nothing like the Porto Beer Fest. It's amazing, but the Art Beer Fest is even smaller, cozy, and with an amazing gathering of very good friends. Like Mikeller is always there. Crack, I always see the guys from Crack, a lot of guys from Spain. Everybody from Portugal, very good breweries from Europe, from the UK, from the States. Like I was saying before the interview, in the email, like we were in Chicago brewing, and it was the guys from the festival that invited us as ambassadors of the beer scene. So we were there invited by the guys that organized the festival. For me, it's the godfather of the scene, Oitava, because he do the best job, the best networking. The guy is really, truly, truly amazing with the craft beer scene.
Wow. So. Wow. I mean, when are we gonna see each other again? Like probably London Craft Beer Festival. We don't know if it's happening.
I always say, let's see each other soon in a place with good beer, with proper beer. That will be awesome for sure.
This is need to happen because, as I said, like everyone was thinking then pubs in here are going to start open early July.
Yeah,
but we don't know how many people will go, how many, how much, beer they will sell.
Our first day of Catraio. First day, like, and this is just our beer garden. We have the main part downstairs. So I think people really want to have proper beer, get out with security, of course, with some precautions. And man, we got to step by step. That's it.
I like that. And I just have a question, like, what is the future, next future, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years for Portuguese beer, and something that you really think we should all look, a brewery or a place or maybe a city that is not Porto and is not Lisbon, something that you want to say about craft beer Portugal?
I'll say we are growing steady with more and more quality. And you see in the quality of the Portuguese craft, the beers is conquering our space in the market for the craft beer scene, and that's it. Like getting this consistency, this quality, because there's no turning back. After you taste this, you don't want to turn it back, And in terms of visiting, I'll say our hidden gem is really the Art Beer Fest I was talking about in Copenhagen, because I would say the more I travel for festival, the more I love that festival, because it's a gathering of good people in an amazing place. The place helps a lot. It's a tiny medieval village that got mountains, you got sea, you got river, you got the border, you see Spain. It's unbelievable, overwhelming, beautiful. I have an example. A guy from Manchester. He was in Catraio, talking so good about it that he came to the festival a few months later. Man, he gets crazy with this. The guy saying so many times, "Thank you for showing me this," and that's something that people should try it for sure, because like I said, it's our hidden gem.
That's I can't wait to see it. Can't wait. And I know you're gonna need to come back and give a help to the rest of the team, and you are at work, so I don't want to take too much time.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm seated just drinking beer. It's better than it's cool.
I had yesterday Belgium, today Portugal, tomorrow we speak about Norwegian, and then we're gonna speak about Spanish. with you know, fantastic guys from Basqueland, then you know someone from
I
there.
love Basqueland, man. It's David got interview with Rafa also from Basque. I really love the guys. I met him in some of them in Barcelona. They were in here. Big Ben was in here in Catraio. They do very good beers for sure. That region, best country. I really love it for the beers. Also Bidasoa, Laugar, good things come from that guys also.
Nice beer, nice people, nice brewery. I agree with you. And Ricardo, I will stay in touch with you, because if I will build this, I start something with European beer, you must give me a hand, because we will have to speak about Portuguese beer, we will have to speak about Porto and many other things, because you are second to no one for passion, for vision, and for human communication.
Yeah, that's really loud. And with a good beer, with a proper beer, you know, it's like it's a social lubricant. The craft beer with good hops, you know, like good weed. That's you can say it in here. Nobody will make it.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's let's do it, man. It's always a pleasure to. It's reciprocal. I really feel the same about you guys. And congratulations for it.
Let's not wait too long before see each other. And
I hope so.
Have a great evening. Enjoy your day. Good life to you and to Catraio, because you're doing well.
Thank you.
Ciao,
You're
ciao.
welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Ciao, guys. Thank you, everyone.